Welcome back to the second part of today's videos. We're now in the solar codes level. Merkaba. Star tetrahedron. Yes. Two tetrahedra merged. Yes. Since we're now in the heart, felt it was important to share a bit more of the understanding of the maths behind this. We've been through the cube and the icosahedron, and now we've reached the Merkaba. Through earth and water, and now fire. These are the numbers of the sides, how many sides each of the geometries have. Merkaba has 24 sides. It has 8 points. And each point has 3 sides. 8 times 3, 24. So today, all these numbers connect to today's Galactic-Arkana. In the tarot cards, it's, well, what's happened there? That's right, I've changed it. I've actually changed the number to 11. Because in my research, the number 19, which is what the Sun card usually is. Yes? Solar codes. 19 is really all when all the cycles combine, though, and that's not just the sun. So, mathematically speaking, from the Galactic-Arkana level, which today is Arkana 11, in this list, number 11. Where does any of this information actually come from? It could really all be sourced back to this card, which is today's card, which is the diamond matrix. Could really all be sourced back to this card. I have a whole chapter about it here in my first book. Okay, chapter 4. There's quite a lot of information to cover in a matter of minutes on videos, which is why it's generally better to read books to get a fuller background. You know, that's why I've read books. So here it is on a different level. This is it as a collection. So all the information that's in here condensed into something that's this size that can fit in your pocket. Okay? The diamond matrix. If it wasn't for the diamond matrix, I wouldn't have even created the Infinity Codes website. If I hadn't created the website, I would never have created the book. I would not be in this place to write the second book, which today is now connecting back to that original card, original graphic, which is now on this card. Which is what it says even on the card. Look. In my investigations, looking for the most accurate average length of tropical Earth here aligned to solstice equinox cross, I found that the ancient Persian sequence of 33 years hit the mark. Finding no geometry to represent this, I created the geometry here. I call this the diamond matrix. It's made up of 8 times the 4-year leap day sequence, which was yesterday's card, or fractal time quantas, which is what I call them at the moment. That's 8 times 4, which is 32 years. At the end there's an extra year, making up to 33, resulting in a year length of 365.24. An infinite number. And today's geometry again is the 24-sided Merkaba. This is a matrix pattern. This is a geometry. So 8 points. That's the 8 times the 4-year leap day sequence. Each of these 8 points also has an inner surface, which is its 4th side of each of these little triangles on the inside. 8 times 4 plus a center, 33. The fire geometry. There's more about that in later episodes. Yeah, it's the origins of the entire Infinity Codes project. Flap, 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 flap. Flap, 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 flap. Flap, flap, flap. Maths. Geometries. Calculations. Codes. Precision. Maths. Maths. Geometry. Codes. Codes of creation. A bit like flying on a magic carpet, really, you know. Yeah, it's pretty profound information, really. Yeah, reaching the heart of the Infinity Codes project. 888. And what is this all maths explaining? What is this 365.242424? Is the geometric average. Okay, I've mentioned this before. All these geometric calculations to do to find the average of 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 the average. Yeah? And what's this? Yeah, that's the fluctuation. So, through having a more precise average, you can have a more precise fluctuation. It's all in my book. It's all online. Has been for about 10 years. Yes. That's how long it's taken to navigate these bizarre cuboid-orientated cultural dysfunctions. Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty hard being Arcturian here, I have to say. Yeah. So, magic carpet. Well, hey. Yep. Yeah, we're now levitating now. Yeah. The Merkaba levels. Okay. Cube. Icosahedron. Merkaba. Heart. Heart of the codes. Yeah. Heart of the codes. Obi-Wan Kenobi gave a presentation earlier. He tried to express it as best he could. I thought he did a great job. Yeah. Well, that's what the information's about. It's about maths. But there's maybe a slightly bit more to do with aligning with nature, honouring the ancestors. It's not just about just using a calculator. So where does this knowledge come from? Yes, the Middle East. Yes. And where does the 33rd degree, where does that run through? Yeah, and we're all using the Roman calendar, are we? As a global project. That's the global project, is it? Okay. Oh dear. Well, to understand nature, you actually have to respect nature, and you actually, need to look at what nature's actually saying, which usually comes out in various different natural cycles. Spring, summer, autumn, winter? Yeah. Okay. On many different levels. Not just one flat plane. Okay? The purpose of infinity codes is to create peace. Yes? Peace through respecting all the ancestors. Yeah. Said it before. For consent to actually exist, there has to be a choice. If there's no choice, there's no consent, is there? Well, your Gregorian calendar nonsense. Oh dear. I just don't see how the light of interdimensional solar codes. Okay. How does the Gregorian match up with that? What does the Gregorian measure again? How does that relate to natural cycles? Is it just the one natural cycle? That's it. Just the spring, summer, autumn, winter. That's it. That's not where we live. We live in a universe that has multi-dimensional fields of energy on multiple levels. Multiple levels. And it seems like our ancestors knew a bit about it, but I've changed a few of the numbers. And that's how it functions on the Galactic-Arkana level. Here in each of these you can see there's 3 circles with a circle in the middle and a triangle connecting the points of the outer circles. That's one leap day period, 4 years. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of them in the geometry. But there's this extra year here in the middle. There's a lot of mystical information that goes with the number 33. But like everything, there's usually some group or other who have co-opted it for their own nefarious purposes. And usually they're very, segmented. They're not very planetary. They may have different global interests, but they're not planetary, okay? They don't respect ancestors from multiple traditions and show how all the knowledge and wisdom of multiple traditions connects together. Yes? The knowledge of which has been around for thousands of years, which can be proven through the maths. Again, a lot of this information has been burnt in books and destroyed. Yeah, mentioned that in my book too. I'm really just repeating myself, for the record. Magic carpet. Persians flying around on magic carpets. diamond matrix, infinity codes. Yes, infinity codes. Connecting to nature. Connecting to the rhythms of nature on multiple levels. Multiple levels. Multiple levels of geometry. Archetypal geometries. Not just the flat earth plane Gregorian calendar. Okay? Multiple levels. And each of these has multiple aspects that also connect together. As a science, as any true science needs to be. It can't just be one flat level. It's important to know where the ground is, sure. It's good to know. This is the ground, yeah. Important. It's not a science, though, is it? Right. So this is a science. This is advanced time science. Yep. Maths all adds up. Please. I'm looking for anybody to find some errors. I'd love to talk to you. Every time I've made an error and then I've found my error, I've found out more. So how can it be a bad thing? This world's definitely hung up on this whole idea of making a mistake. That's because there's so much, stakes are so high. Why are the stakes so high? Maybe there's a bit too much disorder, perhaps? Brought on self-creating prophecy of the flat consciousness. That ignores natural cycles. Perchance that's the reason why the stakes are so high. All the time, there's so much, intrigue and dramas. Nobody really knows what's going on, but behind the scenes, sure they know what's going on. Because look, what's that? Oh yeah, that's the sunspot cycles, isn't it? Yeah, and they happen to go in 11-year periods. So 3 of those is one of these. Yeah. But our records of this only go back about 400 years. There's some records in the Chinese traditions that go back to before the BC. But there's other records and other levels, and they show a lot of variation on multiple levels, including with the sun, since we live in a holistic whole, a multi-dimensional holistic whole, not just a flat plane. However flat it appears to be, that's not the totality of our reality. It's not. It's not anywhere close. No. So I will be sharing more about the vast cycles as we reach the alchemical level, the galactic level. But really, we're just activating the Merkaba today. It's the heart geometry. It's bringing the hands above and the soul below together at the heart. Such mystical information is understanding the universe we live in. I think it's actually really interesting. But it's also challenging to, share this information, and apparently nobody understands anything or something. I don't really get that though. I've made geometries, I've written books, I've created websites, I've connected the maths together, I've shown where I've got the maths from. And there's all kinds of books with this information in it, but they don't relate it in the way I relate it. Usually they're either just talking about calendars, or there's other people just talking about the financial nonsense, which is also numbers. Okay? So many levels to it. Of course there is. I mean, really, these are codes. It's only when they're put in practice, really, when the real magic starts to happen, and we're still trying to get over the idea that this is actually more real than the Gregorian calendar, which is what it is, by the way, just in case you haven't caught that message. It's more real. It's more realistic, connects on multiple levels, connects with multiple disciplines, is a science, connects with the actual universe we live in. It's calculatable. Why wouldn't we have done it before? Well, looks like we did do it before, actually. If you connect all the maths up with the Arkana, yes, what's that saying? We may have to rethink history. Yeah, may have to rethink history. Yeah, organic remains only go so far, because it's just the organic remains. What about everything else? Yep. Yeah, there's a story to this. Yep. And something's going on here, isn't there? Is there something going on there? Maybe there's something going on there. We're not entirely sure. Hope everybody's done their maths. Yes. All the experts, I hope you have done all your maths. I hope you've stared at computers for maybe 10,000 hours, maybe. You know, as much as an airplane pilot. Yeah. Easily. Yeah? Yeah. Easily. Yeah. So much so I now actually have to wear these to look at a computer screen. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, feel free to try and check the maths. Yeah, go for it. I wish you well with the maths checking. Enjoy having a laugh at the grammar if that is your particular, you know, if you get enjoyment out of having a laugh with some words, which is an inferior language to maths, because maths actually came first. Language, you know, evolved on a planet where there was life. For that life to exist, there had to be a universe first, with suns, and then planets, and then moons. And then they have to all be in alignment for life to take place. So, maths is the, you know, geometric, organic fluctuations of the universe. It came first. Language, our ability to communicate with words, is something we developed as a species, as a human species. Very different things. Okay? That's why it's important to get the maths right. Excellent. Wish everybody a happy Earth spin, which is a lovely natural terminology for a day. Because really a day is a day and a night, which is an Earth spin. Yeah. Profound information. Profound information. All the information is there to read over. The calculations are there. If you've not downloaded a free copy of my book, you can download it here as either separate chapters, or there's a link. You can find it if you look closely. There's a link to download the draft copy in its entirety on the book link on that page. But also on infinitycodes.net, if you go to the shop where it says free downloads as well, and you click on that, there's a download link for it there. I think actually that one might actually be the photographic edition. If you're interested, that's also entirely free. Because this is a donation-based project. Always has been, because that's what sliding scale. Yeah, that's what sliding scale is. It's donation-based. Yeah, I've made it entirely clear from the beginning. Yeah. So that's today's card. It's a very important card. It's a very important maths. If it wasn't for this card, most of the other stuff wouldn't have ever happened. Yeah, it's the heart of all the entire Infinity Codes project. Diamond Matrix. 11, 11, 11. So, one final happy new greeting to make. Another member of the team. I did tell you, I didn't think maybe you'd listen to Highland Coup, so I hope you're ready. Whoa! Whoa, man! I am ha-how! Ha-how! Roar! By the power of Aha! By the power of Ra! By the power of the sun! Roar! Roar! He likes roaring. It's your initiation for today. You got a magic star. Yeah. Another pal. Well, I've got a lion now, so don't know what you're going to do. Obviously, that means I've got my own lion's share. So everybody should get their own lion's share. So, what are you going to do now? Check the maths. I can only ask you to check the maths. If you don't actually check the maths, though, what are you talking about then? Evolution beyond a flat plane in a universe. Right. Well, that's basically a brief summary. Diamond Matrix. Way more to it. Far more calculations online you can find on the websites. Different projects I've done to double check and triple check what I'm saying. Over 20,000 years. Yes, 20,000 years. Which is cross-referenced, yes, with various alignments from different cultures, which can be double checked through all the maths. And the origins of the long count Mayan calendar and why is there the 2-day discrepancy. Ooh, I think I'm sharing too much. I'm pretty sure that's a later episode, but so much arguments online about that. Well, explain that. All can be explained with the maths and the fluctuations. Yes? Fluctuations. Which only when you have more precise average can you have more precise understanding of the fluctuations of nature, which is where we live. We don't live in the Gregorian calendar. That is a fiction. Yeah, it's a fiction. It's a tax system. It's a fiction. It is not real. This is real. Yeah, nature's real. Yeah, sunspots are real. Volcanoes are real. Yeah, they're real. Nature's codes are real. They're more real than the Gregorian calendar. Thank you for watching. Check the maths. Get back to me. Excellent. Blessed be.